Live from Austin, Texas, with host Rosie Newberry. Local trends, shopping, and more. This is Studio 512.
The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Mother's Milk Bank at Austin. The mothers of preterm and sick infants are often those who are least likely to be able to provide milk for their babies, and it's the reason why Mother's Milk Bank at Austin was created. MMBA saves babies' lives by providing prescribed, pasteurized donor human milk, and Executive Director Kim Updegrove is here to tell us more. Kim, let's start by talking about the difference between a milk bank and community sharing of milk.
I'm glad you asked this question. So a milk bank is a formal organization. It's a nonprofit organization that screens moms who are healthy and lactating and producing more milk than their baby needs. They get to donate that milk, and the milk then is made safe for tiny, vulnerable infants. And those in particular are babies who are born very premature, so very small, small enough to fit in my hand, or they are born full term but with heart and stomach anomalies that lead them to be able to only tolerate human milk feedings. We are the place that makes that milk safe after it's been donated. Very different from community sharing.
Okay, it is incredible what you guys do for our community. And I know it's the largest milk bank in the United States, right?
That's true. So we didn't set out to be the largest, but it turns out that we've answered a lot of the science questions and a lot of the research, and so we serve the largest number of hospitals around the US. There are so many of these babies born every single year. 60,000 of them are under 3.5 pounds when they're born. So very fragile that only human milk can be fed to them.
I just want to make a call out to anybody who's watching this morning who might find themselves in this exact situation, in a position where they might be able to give a little extra from what they're giving their baby. What would you say to them to get the process started?
I would say that every healthy lactating mother needs to consider today whether she can put aside 1 or 2 ounces of milk today, put it in her freezer, and over the course of the month, she's going to have enough to go through the screening process and find out that she can be a lifesaver. No one regrets saving the life of a baby. Becoming a lifesaver is as easy as becoming a milk donor, and I am begging the community to consider becoming a donor today.
Such important information, Kim, and thank you for all you do for our community. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Mother's Milk Bank at Austin needs your help. To show your support by donating milk, money, or time, go to milkbank.org. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Mother's Milk Bank at Austin. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored on behalf of H&R Block and Epson by Tips on TV.
The deadline for filing taxes by April 15th is coming soon, so it is time to get ready. Eek! Joining us today is finance expert and best-selling author Patrice Washington to share tips for taking the stress out of tax season, and boy, do we need it. Patrice is the founder of the Institute for Redefining Wealth, the host of a popular podcast, and the author of Real Money Answers, and we are lucky to have her. Patrice, good morning.
Good morning, Rosie. I heard the eek, so it sounds like we have a lot to talk about.
I haven't filed my taxes yet, I will tell you the truth, but okay, I'm going to listen to some tips today. First of all, what's a top tip for just surviving tax season?
Well, Rosie, I just want people to remember it's not just tax season, it's also Financial Literacy Awareness Month. And so what I've been saying for 7.5 years on the Redefining Wealth podcast, every time this comes up, is I say, remember, this is about empowering yourself and knowing your numbers and what your financial circumstance is. You're not going to necessarily know all of the current year's tax codes. So yes, some people can file themselves, Rosie, but honestly, the average person, if you want to make it easier and less stressful, it is time to get to a financial professional.
Absolutely. We love the folks who enjoy studying the code. Where can someone find help?
Well, H&R Block can definitely help filers navigate this season with more ease and confidence. So whether you prefer the control and the flexibility of their DIY service or the expert guidance from one of their 60,000 tax pros, they do offer many ways to file. Their AI Tax Assist provides reliable assistance to complete returns with accuracy and ease. Now, if you prefer help from an expert, their experienced tax pros can assist you virtually or at one of their 9,000 locations. And Rosie, I love this. They also offer a free second look tax review to double check up to 3 years of prior returns for missed credits and deductions. And that is a biggie. So again, if you want to reduce the stress and have more ease, visit hrblock.com to learn more.
The thought that I might have extra money hanging around somewhere is a very tantalizing one. So that's a great tip. How about another pro tip for making filing easier?
So Rosie, I don't know if you haven't filed yet because it's been hard to get the paperwork together. That's usually why most people procrastinate, right? And I used to think organizing receipts was such a challenge until I discovered Rapid Receipt. I love Rapid Receipt because it helps us organize stacks of papers, receipts, invoices, and all other tax-related documents, and it just simplifies the year-end workflow. Rapid Receipt turns financial documents into smart digital data, making them AI ready for tax season. Epson's ScanSmart AI Pro technology is fast and Rosie, it is accurate. Plus, Rapid Receipt exports information directly to third-party vendors you probably already use for easier tax filing and fewer errors. So to Rosie and to everyone watching, you got to get it together, guys. And this is a great way to do it. And I heard the Rapid Receipt is actually on sale right now. The Epson ScanSmart is on sale.
Sounds good to me. And I mean, my jaw's on the floor. I had never even heard that such a thing existed. That's so much easier in today's day and age. Okay. Are there any other ways to take some stress out of the tax season?
Now, I really believe, besides not procrastinating, right, I do think another thing that takes the stress away is being in community. You really want to be in supportive spaces where it is okay to talk about it. A lot of people are intimidated to talk about money or to say, oh, I haven't filed yet. And in my community, Redefining Wealth, and in my Redefining Wealth app, I normalize the conversation because I think that it's not just about the wallet. Wealth is about well-being. That was the original 12th century definition. And you can be well when you're in community, being supported, being guided, being coached, being advised, and there's no shame.
I think that's huge. Money can be kind of isolating because you don't want to come out and share your figures with everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're creating community around it instead. Have to ask, as a financial expert, what do you suggest as a top tip for maximizing refunds, getting some of that money back?
Oh, Rosie, I just did a live about this actually in the Redefining Wealth app last night. And this is what I told my ladies. I said, listen, you don't want to be folks who have an either or mentality. We want to embrace the and. What does that mean? We don't have to choose whether we'll pay off debt or whether we'll save. We get to use what I call the 40-40-20 method. And that means that we'll take 40% of the average tax refund this year is $3,300. So we can take 40% of that, Rosie, reduce debt, another 40% increase or establish savings, and then 20% is for personal development. Why? This is not time to just blow the money and it's just about having fun. I really believe that your personal finances will only grow to the extent that you're willing to personally develop. You have to be the person that can hold space for what it is you say you want. So I don't care if it's a book, if it's a language app, if it's a course, if it's a conference. What is going to help you grow personally, professionally, and just as an individual so that you can create the space to hold more and more money and be better with your finances? So 20% should go towards investing back in you.
Oh, it's a really holistic approach. I like that a lot. I will be downloading your app today. Where else can we go for more information, Patrice?
For more information, visit tipsontv.com. And of course, to learn more about the app and all the resources I have, go to patricewashington.com.
Sounds good to me. Thank you so much for your expertise. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Rosie.
The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored on behalf of H&R Block and Epson by Tips on TV. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness. Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness has become known for treating chronic pain and peripheral neuropathy. We're going to learn more today from Dr. Lucas Brown. And Dr. Brown, you say you have the best job in the world.
I honestly feel like I have the best job in the world. Our patients here at Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness are the ones that have really tried everything and nothing's worked for them. And their doctors are kind of scratching their heads and don't have anything left to offer them. And so for those patients, we really want to get their life back.
One of your patients, named Joyce, we're going to take a little listen to what she had to say about her experience here at Rosedale.
I came here in seeking help because I had had so many doctors tell me that there was nothing else they could do for me. When I came here to Rosedale and talked to Dr. Lucas, he gave me hope that there was going to be a better life for me over the years. Things changed around here because I can now walk outside. I can walk around in the yard and see the flower beds that Bruce has taken care of, what I used to take care of. And I just feel like I can do more things around the house. I actually fixed a whole meal the other day. Golly, the favorite part for me is just seeing how everybody works together here, and everybody is just so accommodating and caring. Of course, my favorite part is that I do have more feeling in my feet now, and I didn't before, and that's a good thing. I can see improvement. Well, we used to go on one big trip a year. As we got older, we decided, we wanted to do as much as we can while our health still handled it. And that's our goal.
All right, Dr. Brown, why don't you tell me a little bit more about treating Joyce, because you're trying to get her to her dream vacation.
Absolutely. And so Joyce is a perfect example, like I said, of someone who'd really kind of given up hope. All of us here at Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness are really looking forward to the day when she goes to take that dream vacation with her husband, Bruce. She's doing great, and we're really looking forward for her to get out there and take that vacation. My message for everyone out there is don't give up hope. There is most likely a solution for what you're dealing with to help you with your pain, and maybe it's with us, maybe it's not, but don't give up hope.
Dr. Brown, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Call now to schedule your free consultation with Dr. Brown at 512-623-1996. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness. Did you know the largest comedy festival in North America is held right here in our capital city? The Moon Tower Comedy Fest is coming up, and marketing manager Tori Schultz is here along with local comedian Avery Moore to tell us more about it. Y'all, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Of course. So Avery, this is very exciting. We had you on the show last year. We just talked off camera, and Avery was like, everything I said I'd do on this show last year, I did do, which is pretty impressive. So we'll talk more about that in just a second. But Tori, first I want to come to you and talk to us a little bit about the fest. I've been before. I've seen Aziz Ansari, Amy Schumer. So these are some really big names. Talk to us about what people can expect.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can believe it, but our homegrown Austin Festival is now one of the largest in North America. We've got over 30 headliners this year, ranging from Aziz Ansari to Janelle James from Abbott Elementary. But we're Moon Tower, so we like to get a little weird with it. We have the Enigma, that is John Waters, and Adam Ray as Dr. Phil. So no matter what you're into, whether you like straight stand-up, you want some character work, or you just want to be surprised, we've got a little something for everyone.
Fantastic. And how long does the festival stretch?
So we start tomorrow, April 9th, and we go through the 19th. We're going to have headliners every single day, but our club binge is really our meat and potatoes. So from April 16th through the 19th, you're going to see club acts late into the evening, nightly parties, happy hours, all that good stuff. And you're going to get that with a club badge.
That's exciting. I mean, Austin's comedy scene has been growing exponentially, I feel, in the last couple of years. And so I know that we're going to have some really fantastic talent. I want to hear, Tori, if I can pick your brain for a second, some of the performances you in particular are looking forward to.
Oh, it's so hard because we have such a wide variety. Our headliners are always a huge highlight. For me personally, I'm going to be sitting for Alex Edelman, Caitlin Riley, Mae Martin, all of those great people. But the club series, like I said, is where all the magic happens. So you're going to see these over 100 comics in downtown Austin at these intimate venues like you've never seen them before. But of course, you can see Avery there as well, too.
I love that there's a little plug for our in-studio comedian, because Avery, we're really proud that you're doing so well. And can I just say, talk to me about the last year and how things have gone.
Yeah, so I think last year we spoke about how I was filming a comedy special at Moon Tower. I did. I had a mental breakdown.
Which means it probably was really good.
It's going to be great. And we've just been working nonstop with my friend and filmmaking partner, Frank Huesos. He's like my guiding light, my editor too. And we've just put together something really personal and awesome. And I hope everyone's going to really laugh at it.
Oh, and Tori's giving like a little. I will say I have to mention your podcast, because one of the jokes that we tell in our office all the time is, "Hey, I don't know you."
That's my purse.
Which is a joke from King of the Hill.
I have a King of the Hill podcast. We're on hiatus right now. Jake and I both lost our minds, so but I have a King of the Hill podcast called That's My Podcast, I Don't Know You.
I don't know you. Yeah, look that clip up if you haven't ever heard of it before today, because it's really fun to then scream at your coworkers. Yeah. All right, talk to us a little bit more about where people can catch you during the fest, because there are a bunch of opportunities.
So many. So I've got all my stuff next week for the club series, but I get to open for two really amazing people this week. Wednesday, tomorrow, is the opening at 7, and I'm opening for Aparna Nancherla at the State Theater next to the Paramount. And then on Friday, I'm opening for Mae Martin.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be amazing.
I just found out, so I still go when I say it.
Like shake off the nerves a little bit.
Woohoo!
Yeah. All right. You have a special movie, and it is actually called your special movie.
Avery's special movie.
And the premiere of it is going to be happening during Moon Tower Comedy Festival. So can you tell me about that?
I approached Moon Tower in August of 2023 for this project and asked if they would help me. This is going to be my 10th Moon Tower, and I said, hey guys, can you help me make a comedy special? I'm an unrepresented Austin comedian and have been, and I just make art here. And they said yes. Yay! And they're helping me, and they are going to let me show it in a movie theater. So hopefully there will be popcorn. And honestly, no dream of mine has ever come true that's this special, so really excited.
Oh, and you actually are a big Pee Wee Herman fan?
Yes.
And so there's kind of like...
a la Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Avery's special movie. So it is a little confusing. It's a comedy special, but there's vignettes, and I wrote a song.
Oh, so much to explore with you during the next 2 weeks, Avery. I'm really liking that. And then you, as a comedian, I think it's so interesting to pick like creative brains to hear like, actually, who are you looking forward to? What are you excited about seeing? Because obviously you're going to be running around chicken with your head cut off because you've got a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
But is there anyone that you're hoping to like sneak into to see?
Well, Janine Garofalo is going to be here.
Oh my gosh, big name.
And that is just so cool.
Yep.
And if I even just get to get my peepers on her, that'll be cool for me. But I do hope to meet her and tell her how important she is to me. But I was so excited about Aparna and also about Mae. But my friend Candace Medina is going to be on Moon Tower this year for the first year. And she's
exciting.
A killer. And I just can't wait to watch her just destroy everyone.
So as this is your 10th and this is your friend's first time performing, you're really going to be cheering her on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a local, so that's one of my favorites.
Okay, it's a name to write down. All right, Tori, then I have to come back to you. Badges, tickets, both are available. Talk to me about how they work.
Yeah, everything's available online right now at moontowercomedyfest.com. Headliners, which are mostly at the Paramount and State, you're going to see with a single ticket. And go ahead and snatch those up now before it's too late. They're going to sell out fast. We already have a lot of people who we have no more seats left for.
Okay.
And then if you want to see the club badge, you want the full comedy buffet, the nightly parties, the happy hours, the late night sets, you're going to want to grab a badge at the same website, moontowercomedyfest.com. Come hang out with us next week, April 16th through the 19th.
It sounds like a ton of fun, y'all. I can't wait. Good luck. Break a leg. And thank you guys so much for your time.
Thanks
we appreciate
for
it.
having us.
Of course, headliner single tickets are available, but the badge, I hear, is the best way to fest. Get either one now at moontowercomedyfest.com. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Craft Body Scan. Craft Body Scan wants to help you take control of your health with potential early detection of things like heart disease, cancer, and more. Jeremy Morgan is here to tell us more about it. And Jeremy, my first question is to ask a little bit more about Craft Body Scan and what it is y'all do here.
Well, thank you, Rosie. First of all, I appreciate you coming out here. Obviously, anytime we get an opportunity to share with folks what we do at Craft, we'd like to take that opportunity. We're here to spread the word that there is a way to get access to this kind of technology, CT scanning, when you want to, not just after you need to. And most of us have been conditioned to go to the doctor, and the doctor and the insurance get together and decide we can get a scan after we have a certain number of symptoms and complaints. We're trying to get ahead of that, and so it's all about preventive.
Absolutely, and we're going to talk more about that in just a second, but can you give me an example of some of the scans that you can run?
Well, the one that we are most popular and most known for is our couples heart and lung scan, which we'll be talking about a little bit here today, I'm sure. But we take a look at the heart and lungs because you probably know heart disease is the #1 cause of death for men and women. 1 in 3, unfortunately, will die from heart disease. And lung cancer is #2 cause of death and the #1 cancer killer. And so with our heart and lung scan, we're able to take a look at 2 of the biggest killers and get ahead of them before they have a chance to develop to the point where symptoms come out, which usually means it's progressed.
And I hear you have some life-saving stories to share.
You know, one of the things I love about this is we have stories on almost on a daily basis, and I kind of divide it into 2 categories, what I call door number 1, door number 2. Door number 1 is like clean bill of health, peace of mind, everything's good. Yeah. So sometimes people come in and they're actually afraid that they have something, maybe they've smoked for many years, and they're afraid, I know I have lung cancer, and then we get to tell them, no, clean bill of health, your lungs are fine. Door number 2 is where we say, well, thank God we found it now. Because typically things like that, they're going to show up, they're going to rear their head eventually, but if we can find it sooner. So we find people with calcified plaque in their arteries, which tells us there's a heart attack, an event coming. And it's a pretty regular thing where we see someone with elevated plaque, and we're able to give them that information to get with their cardiologist, take action before it becomes a heart attack.
You said you've got a little special going on, so can we talk more about that?
Yes, we're really excited to offer the couples heart and lung scan. We want to make this accessible to as many people as possible. Normally that scan is $1,360 per person, which is not accessible for everybody, but what we're doing through the end of April, it's $149 per couple for the same exact couples heart and lung CT scan. It's going to give a coronary calcium score of all 5 arteries while looking at the heart and the lungs.
Okay, sounds good to me. Jeremy, thank you for the information today.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming out, Rosie.
Make your appointment now by calling 512-598-1000 or going to craftbodyscan.com. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Craft Body Scan. Welcome back, everybody. Whether you're an expert or maybe you're just starting out, we have the place for your fiber craft needs. Joining us today is Erin Battle, owner of Yarn Matter. She's here to show off some of her colorful collections and to give insights into the workshops that she offers. And we're happy to have her. Erin, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
So we were talking off camera. This was a pandemic change for you. You got into crocheting in 2020 of all things.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about, what lit you up about seeing these patterns and these colors and bringing things together.
Yeah, no, well, first of all, I discovered the world on Instagram of this fiber industry. And that's what really inspired me to start Yarn Matter. And then I discovered that you could dye yarn with things in your kitchen that I already had, like avocado pits and skins, onion skins. So that's what kind of started me down this rabbit hole.
Gotcha. And so I'm hearing sustainability is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing there's like an environmentally conscious edge to this.
Yes.
I do want to say you were in your master's degree for what?
Electrical and computer engineering.
Electrical and computer engineering, everybody, before we got into this. But tell me now that you've started Yarn Matter, what it is that you offer.
Yeah, so mainly I offer this hand-dyed wool, so I hand-dye all myself.
Wow.
And exclusively with natural dyes.
I'm shocked that you can get some of these colors from natural products.
Honestly, me too.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you can use to get some, like I'm looking at this beautiful lime green. What on earth made that?
Yeah, so actually on each skein tag, I have the materials written. Just when people come see it in person, they're always interested in
Okay,
that.
well, I'm looking one up. Extra pure sock, 100% extra fine merino wool, dyed with weld and madder. What's weld and madder?
So weld is like a plant, and it produces a yellow. And then madder, it's called madder root. And you can actually plant it. It takes a few years to be able to harvest it and get the color. But yeah, it produces the red.
Oh my gosh, and it's like a gorgeous sunset ombre skein. You told me that's the correct way to say it, skein of yarn. You currently have a pie collection, and that's a lot of what you brought today. It's available for pre-order. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, so there's 16 colorways. 9 semi-solids and 7 variegates.
And variegate just means that you're seeing different colors in the yarn.
The multicolors.
Okay.
And these are the semi-solids up here.
I'm gonna get a whole new like vocab list at the end of that. Variegates, okay, skein, I'm picking up on it. When are the pie collection colors going to be available?
So they're available now.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Yes, and the last day to get them is actually tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so she's brought us like a time crunch here at Studio 512. You gotta get moving today, guys, if you want some of these. You also brought with you kind of some instructions on how to do natural dyeing. Can you walk me through what I'm looking at here?
Yeah, so here is the process that I'll teach in classes for solar dyeing. So this isn't typically what I do to get these colors, but I find that this is easier to teach in classes, and it's a fun like group activity. So what I'll have you do is we'll just take the yarn out.
Okay, and this is, oh my gosh, it feels really amazing.
It's a little wet.
Well, and it looks like spaghetti, so it's making me hungry. And you've brought along what I have to say look like onion skins.
They are.
They are. Yep. We're dyeing with onion skins today.
And this was actually dyed with onion skins.
It's such a gorgeous green.
Yeah.
Okay, so what color does this kind of yellow onion skin make?
It'll range between a yellow and a brown.
A yellow and a brown, okay.
Yeah.
And how much do you put in?
There's a bit of a rule, but for this, as much as you want.
Okay, I'm just stuffing tons in there.
Yeah, just pack it in there.
Yeah, and some red onion skin
variety
to go in it. And so this is just the stuff that you could peel off your groceries at home, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you've been pre-soaking this wool in what?
Just water.
Just water, okay.
And then, so the dyeing process requires a mordanting step, which allows the dye to properly adhere to the fiber.
Okay.
So this has been pre-mordanted.
Okay. What's mordanted mean?
It's a metal salt. So what I use is like aluminum sulfate.
Okay.
And then it's basically just a process of having this mordant bind to the fiber, which then allows you to go into the dye process.
It absorbs.
And then,
Gotcha.
And then the dyes will bind to the fiber.
Okay, and is that something that's available like at Joann Fabrics or?
Honestly, so the umbrella term is called alum.
Okay.
And you can I've heard of that. Yeah, you can find it in grocery stores.
Okay. Wow. So this really can be an at-home experiment.
Yeah.
So you've got cleverly got a little cable cord.
Yes.
And then, so you stick it all back in together, and then how much water do you fill it up with?
Yeah. So you can just fill it up until it covers the yarn and the materials in there. And then what you do, you just leave it out in the sun for a few days, and you'll start to see the color develop.
Gosh, that's really cool. And then I'm guessing there's a washing period afterwards to make sure it locks in.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So I'll wash it with some soap and make sure all the excess dye comes out.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
ready to go.
you can work with your own dyed yarn. That is so cool.
And
Okay.
it becomes something like this.
Wow. Okay, so that's the sort of coloring that we can get from
Yes.
these two. Oh, so cute. That's so cool. I love learning things. All right, you're going to be at the Yellow Rose Fiber Fiesta in Seguin, so not too far. That's just a quick drive here from Austin. That's coming up at the end of the month. Real quickly, could you tell me about that?
Yeah, so it's basically like a trade show. There's going to be a whole bunch of yarn, fiber, like notions, like little accessories for knit and crochet, anything related to those crafts you can basically find there.
Awesome. And we can visit with you.
Yes, and I will be there.
Okay.
There's a bunch of vendors from all over Texas.
Lovely. And then just in our last 20 seconds, you do offer classes, and I want to make sure people know about that. Things like dyeing.
Yes.
But can you talk to me a little bit about the other classes you offer?
Yeah, so dyeing, and then I'm doing crochet classes, Tunisian crochet classes, and those can be found at Knit ATX or Fiber Fate.
Okay, I didn't even know that Tunisian crochet was a type of crochet.
Yeah, that's this sweater.
Oh, that's this sweater, and it's gorgeous on you.
Thank you.
I learned so much today. Okay. All right, I appreciate it, Erin. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Of course. Don't forget to check out Yarn Matter at the Yellow Rose Fiber Fiesta on April 25th and 26th down in Seguin. And as you heard her say, you can shop all offerings at yarnmatter.com. Good morning, everybody. Kimberly White Erlinger from Austin Animal Center is here today, and she is just whispering, "I love you too," to what she calls a pocket pitty that is ready to find his forever home. She's here to tell us more about Rudy, who is our pet of the week from AAC. And good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Rudy is a sweet boy. He's been making friends this morning. He's giving you a lot of love and attention right now.
I just swoon over him, and I do love him, and he loves everybody. I mean, look at him. He's just placing his head in my hand.
He just wants to be adored.
Yes,
Oh.
who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
And who doesn't want to adore him? He's just so cute. He's only about 40 pounds, if that.
Okay.
So he's a perfect size. And this is who he is at the shelter. He just, he is more interested in cuddles and love than treats, which is so unusual for dogs. They usually are crazy about toys and treats, and he's like, yeah, I like it, it's good, but I really just want to be loved by a human.
The way that he's just loving getting his little
He
face
just
scratched.
gazes.
And in fact, before we came on camera, you were like, he might attempt to sit in my lap.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't done that yet, because he's done it like 4 times already this morning.
So he doesn't know that he's 40 pounds, even though 40 pounds is a little on the small side, maybe for a bit of a pit bull mix.
Yeah.
But talk
he's
to
good
us a
boy.
little bit about how he came to you and his age, what we know about him.
Yeah, what we know about him, well, he came in as a stray, so what we know about him is everything that we've sort of learned at the shelter, which is unfortunately very common for a lot of our dogs, but it's kind of a clean slate, and he has just been so delightful. Because he came in as a stray, well, let me go back. He is 2 years old.
2 years old.
And
okay.
he's
so he's got a
two-ish.
lot of life left in him.
He's got a lot of life in him, and for being only 2, he's just so easygoing and calm and has such a good temperament. And he came in, he is heartworm positive, so we really, really want to get him into a home as quickly as possible so he can really get the heartworm treatment going in a nice, calm atmosphere. He's on doxycycline just to keep it at bay, but that's not a cure, that's sort of a Band-Aid.
Gotcha.
So, and we pay for all of the treatment. So any foster who can step up and have this lovely little guy come in and live with them for a few months, we'll take care of all the treatments, all of the heartworm treatments. So, but it's crucial. We can't do it at the shelter because it's just too stressful.
A little too stressful, and I know
it's
with
a good boy.
heartworm medication, we kind of want to keep them calmer, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so getting them out of that stressful environment really helps.
It's pretty crucial. Yeah, it's really important.
So if we were looking for the perfect home for Rudy, I know you're going to tell me he could go a lot of places because he's
so
just a great
gentle.
size and a
Yeah.
sweet little boy.
Yeah.
But what would you say would be best for him?
Well, he's done He's done a few play groups at the shelter, and he's done well with certain dogs. So I talked to behavior team this morning, and they said he would do well with a very stable dog. So he's little, and little dogs sometimes can get a little defensive around bigger dogs. So hi, buddy. Don't knock anything over. Don't knock anything.
He's a noser too.
We did talk about
he's very
that.
nosy.
So
he will explore the whole area with his
Yes,
nose.
He loves to sniff. But he has done well with several dogs at the shelter. So we, of course, as I say every time, please schedule a meet and greet, because we do think that he could be really happy with a well-paired dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I want to make sure I ask about kitten season, just because it's something that we mentioned the last time we had you in here.
Yes.
How are we doing in the progression of that?
Well, kitten season and puppy season are definitely upon us, and we're definitely seeing an increase in both babies, of dogs and cats. Hi, he says, don't talk about those, talk about me instead. So yeah, we're always looking for fosters to help with the babies, and oh my goodness, it is the cutest thing in the world. And walking through the shelter building right now, and you hear all the little tiny kitten meows, it's the sweetest thing. So if you can foster bottle babies or a mama and her kittens, that goes so far.
A lot of mention of fostering, and I
Yeah.
think it's really important because not everybody's in a place where they can adopt,
Right,
but
right.
fostering helps a ton, right?
It helps so much. At the very minimum, we get home notes. The dog or cat reduces stress. Like I just said, we learn about how they are in a home environment, which is, we just don't see that at the shelter. No matter how much, even if we take them on outings, we just really need to see what they're like a couple of weeks out. And it
Gotcha.
opens up a temporary kennel for if a foster can only take a dog or cat for a couple of weeks, then at least for 2 weeks another dog can take that kennel space.
Well, and I know you
that's
guys are
crucial.
pretty full right now.
We're always full.
Really important. Okay, so you
Yes.
have an upcoming Good Fix clinic. You've had a
Yes.
couple of these now. Can you just tell me in our last 20 seconds or so a little bit about it?
Yes, it starts tomorrow, and I think this is our 4th one. They've been so successful, 1,000 dogs and cats spayed each time, and it's going to be at Brody Oaks, which is at South Lamar and Ben White, so convenient. Always looking for volunteers, especially Spanish speakers.
Okay, spay and neuter clinic for free. And it's over the course of a couple of days. So
It's
if you-
until Monday.
until
tomorrow
Monday.
until Monday. Yep.
Okay, all right, sounds good to me. Kimberly,
Yes.
we'll leave it there. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
bringing Rudy
Thank
to us
you for
today.
having us.
To adopt Rudy and to see all of the other pets currently available for adoption at Austin Animal Center, head to Austin, Texas.gov. Content segments during Studio 512 were paid for by Mother's Milk Bank at Austin, H&R Block, and Epson on behalf of Tips on TV and Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness. We have a lot of fun here on Studio 512. If you missed any of our great segments, be sure to check out our website where we like to post the fun things we do. Our feed covers content like arts and entertainment, food and drink, fashion and beauty, home and garden, stuff for kids and pets, as well as information from area experts. In addition, you can check out web-exclusive content that you can only find on Studio512TV.com. We also love to post behind-the-scenes funny moments, outfit inspirations, and more on social media. Find us by searching for Studio 512 on your favorite platform. You don't want to miss a single post. Be sure to follow us, check out our website, and watch us every weekday at 11 a.m. right here on CW Austin.